Stopped. Smith to the end zone, touchdown! Jackson Smith and Jigba. His first touchdown of the season. Seahawks had to have points, and they get them with 2:09 to go.
Really good job by Gino Smith of reading what the defense has given them. They have a double team to the right of your screen on DK Metcalf, and it leaves the middle of the field wide open for Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's able to find them for an easy touchdown in the back of the end zone.
And he got rid of that ball just in time as Elijah Chapman crushed him right as he threw it.
They go 95 yards in less than 4 minutes. Extra point by Myers is good. There is a flag down on the extra point.
The zone play is to try is good. Right, legal use of hands to the face. Defense number 53. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
All right, so 2:09 to go. Seahawks have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning as we show you the touchdown one more time by Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, Jigba's in a slot, but as you see the pressure on Gino just in time. I mean, he's letting that ball go as he's getting hit, and it flutters a little bit, but Jackson Smith and Jigba so wide open. Easy connection.
And the patience. He's just hanging out, scanning the entire field and able to find his receiver. And Mike McDonald, obviously, he loves it. Let's get 1 point up there and let's go kick this ball off with 3 timeouts. No reason to think about onside kicks yet. I think you kick this ball off deep. You go out there, you have your 3 timeouts. The defense has to get a stop, and you'll be able to get this ball back with an opportunity to put points on the board, either a field goal to tie this thing up or try to win it with a touchdown.
And remember, with the new kickoff rules, there is no such thing as a surprise onside kick. Seahawks would have to declare they're going to have an onside kick, which they're not doing. As Jason said, they'll kick it deep with the 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Gray and Smith-Marset are the deep men for the Giants.
And because of that penalty, the ball moves up to the 40, but the setup zones stay the same.
You paid attention in class this summer. Myers bounces one into the landing zone, fielded by Gray at the 3-yard line. Gray across the 20 and down at the 22. Back to New York. NFL Today update with Coach Cowher.
San Francisco trailing to Arizona by 1 point with less than 2 minutes to go. Brock Purdy is intercepted by Kazir White. And now Arizona has the ball, and they kill the clock. Arizona beats San Francisco 24-23.
Wow, so the 49ers will be coming here on Thursday night off a loss. Will the Seahawks also be coming off a loss? Down by 3, 2:05 on the clock. Tracy across the 25 and muscles his way to the 26-yard line. That is the 2-minute warning. Giants 23, Seahawks 20. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
We've seen a lot of Daniel Jones in the pass game on the edge. I would like to see that happen if you're Brian Dable, trying to find any kind of advantage against the Seattle defense that has been crowding the line of scrimmage, obviously desperate to get a stop here so they can get a chance.
I'm running the ball. I'm not putting it in the air at all. I'm handing this ball off.
Eric Gray is the running back. He's the one who fumbled back in the first quarter. They are throwing. Jones on the slant, and it's nearly intercepted. Great coverage by the rookie Nehemiah Pritchett, and that's the risk of throwing the ball. The clock stops, and the Seahawks do not have to use a timeout.
Now you're giving the ball to Gino Smith. It's going to be a minute and 40-something seconds left with 2 timeouts, and the Giants are livid. They want a penalty. but it looks like to me in the slot, Wan'Dale Robinson was pushing Witherspoon, trying to draw kind of a pick play to get Slayton coming underneath. A really good job by Pritchard and the rookie coming up with a big play on a third down situation.
Gillen had a 59-yard punt last time. D. Williams is back deep, moves up to the 27. Williams trying to get to the outside, and he is caught at the 34. Casey Kreider, the long snapper, makes the tackle after a 45-yard punt. So now, Gino Smith, 1:40 to go and 2 timeouts.
Yeah, they have 30 or so yards to get into field goal range. Then 65 yards to get the win for the touchdown. So I expect to see exactly what we saw on the previous possession. A lot of spread out, empty formation. Let's play fast so we can make the Giants identify.
Smith steps up, he's going to run. He's got a lot of room across midfield. Gino Smith and the Seahawks are already in field goal range. A 32-yard run.
Just a really good play by Gino Smith. Dexter Lawrence looping around, opens up that gap for the quarterback to take off and run through. When you have a veteran quarterback like Gino Smith, that Jackson Smith and Jigba, that right there is a savvy veteran move, making the DBs think the ball is coming as he sees his quarterback hauling butt down the field. Really good job by him.
A veteran move from a second-year wide receiver. Play clock at 1. And Mike McDonald has to call a timeout. Wow.
Oh, that's bad execution on the Seahawks' part. After a huge play by Gino, great awareness to see everybody's back turn. Giants in man coverage, you get up and you just take too much time trying to get into the perfect play.
So now 1 timeout remaining. There is Jason Myers, who today is 2 out of 2. Good from 43 yards and 48 yards. From here, it would be a 51-yard field goal for Myers.
And he's made those kicks comfortably, so you're probably very confident, if you're Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, in the field goal. It's now, how do we get a touchdown and not have this thing go into overtime?
Smith fires another completion to the 28-yard line. Noah Fant on the receiving end.
And if you're the Giants, you want to slow play this as much as possible. Force the Seahawks to have to kick the field goal as opposed to taking shots at the end zone.
2nd and 4. Gino has all day, looking deep down the sideline, and it's incomplete. Intended for Tyler Lockett. Adoree Jackson had the coverage.
And he's out there screaming for the penalty, but this could have gone either way. And I tip my hat to these referees because they're just letting them play in these critical moments of this game.
I love that. When it's hand fighting and you have both guys going back and forth, just tuck the flag and let the guys play, and that's what you saw right there. I don't like the man-to-man on the outside because, to your point, Tiki, they're already in field goal range. We just don't want to give up a touchdown if you're the New York Giants.
3rd and 4. 1:08 to go. Smith to the outside, and it's broken up. Intended for Smith and Jigba, and Drew Phillips, the rookie out of Kentucky, makes a big play.
Yeah, that's a big play by Drew Phillips. He was questionable to play in this game with a calf injury, but you see why they're so high on him. He's right on time with getting his...
I didn't even
touch it. He didn't even get it. That's just a drop.
I take back the credit I gave him.
Right, from our angle, from the defensive left side of this booth, it looked like he knocked it out.
So now Myers from 47 yards away. This to tie the game at 23, and it's blocked! Isaiah Simmons, and picked up by Bryce Ford Wheaton, and he is gonna go! The Giants sideline erupts! Unbelievable! Isaiah Simmons came across, and Bryce Ford Wheaton, who does not have a touch in his NFL career, picks it up and scores.
Let's take a look at this. He jumps over the center, blocks it. And wow, what a return. We talk about all phases, offense, defense, special teams, making blocks or making contributions to winning games. Gene, I need to know, are you allowed to jump the center?
No, he actually is in that gap, Tiki. I think it's a great play by Simmons. He's right in the A gap. He goes right through. He doesn't use anybody for leverage. He just finds that gap, leaps up, and makes a great play.
Giants have called a timeout before the extra point.
And as Gene is saying that, he's lined up in that gap. So he's on the line of scrimmage, which allows him to do that. I remember being on certain teams, and we would practice this. And this is one where when you see a guy like Isaiah Simmons down in the line of scrimmage, where he's not typically lined up, where he's more of a safety linebacker type of guy, that's where you got to start to communicate to each other. They have this freak athlete down here for a reason. We saw Myles Garrett do the same thing for the Cleveland Browns a year ago. This is just tremendous by Isaiah Simmons to be able to get. The hard thing is you jump over, but you have to get your feet down and get back up in the air fast enough before they're able to get that kick up.
Yeah, kids do plyos up and down, up and down. But Laken Tomlinson was the reason he was able to do so. Laken Tomlinson, who's playing right guard on the field goal team, dives down into the ground.
Giants are now just going to take a knee.
They're taking a knee because
they don't want the Seahawks to go the other way.
If they block the field goal and go the other way, it's 2. If they go for 2 and interception, it's 2 the other way. So you have a 9-point lead, which is a 2-possession game. And with 55 seconds left, it essentially kills the game for them.
Well, I hate to bring it up, to throw cold water on it, because it was an incredible play, but really the Giants should not have scored there.
Right.
They should have gone down, which is what Devin Singletary did in the Cleveland win. Bryce Ford Wheaton wasn't thinking that way.
Yeah, but how hard is it to tell him, hey, you know what, don't score right there?
Singletary's like, I'll get other chances to get in the end zone. Ford Wheaton's like, this might be my only chance at the touchdown. I'll go ahead and take the 6. But to your point, Andrew, yes, we used to talk about it as downtime, where you know if you make a play, we go down because time is on our side and we can run out the clock.
Seahawks have 1 timeout remaining and 55 seconds on the clock. Chenault and Williams back deep, and many Seattle fans have started to head for the exits. Touchback. We will have bonus coverage of the Packers-Rams game coming up here on CBS just inside the 2-minute warning there, with Green Bay up 24-19.
It's a heck of an effort by the New York Giants. This is a team, yes, they had 10 days off, but when you're going on those trips from the East Coast to the West Coast, they came in yesterday. It's always hard trying to balance and get your body ready to go for these kickoffs at 125 and being able to come out firing as they did in this game today.
Gino Smith in the shotgun. Pressure's coming. Smith goes to the ground. That's a sack for the Giants. And for the Giants defense, they now have 6 sacks today.
And you see the Seahawks trying to go for it all on one play, of mid-Mary. It's not a Hail Mary to the end zone, but just not enough time for Gino to get anything pushed downfield. And DJ Davidson just manning his way into the backfield makes it uncomfortable for Gino. And here you see Simmons getting the celebration from Joe Shane, the general manager.
They're going to give a shout out to the Giants special teams coordinator, Michael Gobriel. His first year with the Giants, spent the last 3 as the Jets assistant special teams coordinator. Huge play by the Giants, and 49 seconds away from their 2nd win of the year. Giants defense with 6 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, and 7 pass breakups. Smith. And that one is caught by Fant, who goes out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. Be a quick turnaround for the Seahawks. We mentioned it a short time ago, but they play on Thursday night at home against division rival San Francisco.
Yeah, so it's kind of an unfair week for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks, really, if you say, because Monday night and then Sunday and then again on Thursday. It's a lot of football in a short amount of time.
3rd down and 11. Burns is coming. Smith steps up. Gino's going to keep it and takes a big hit from Dane Belton. Short of a first down. Seahawks do not have a timeout. Fourth down and 2 for Seattle. Gino, and Dexter Lawrence ends it. The 7th sack today by the Giants defense, and what a win by New York.
Dexy, sexy Dexy, the leader of that defensive front. He'll get a special meal from his wife Donna, who's a chef, executive chef. Executive chef, he told us. There'll be a lot of celebrating on the plane back to New York or New Jersey, I should say, for the Giants. This is a huge win for them to come on the road and beat a high-flying Seattle Seahawks team.
And this is a team in the New York Giants who feel like, hey, they were a few calls in that Dallas Cowboys game away from winning. Then they played the Commanders, and your kicker gets hurt on the opening kickoff. And you're probably a field goal kick away from that game. 2 wins now on this season as they came to play and was able to be successful today. And a lot from Daniel Jones in this offense of seeing them start to turn the corner.
An offense without Malik Neighbors and Devin Singletary. Not a lot of people gave the Giants a shot without those two today, but they come away with a commanding 29-20 victory over Seattle.